2 Valentine's days ago, I decided I was going to cook dinner for my boyfriend. And deciding what to make for dinner was the easy part. You know, steak, potatoes, pasta salad, good to go. But the hard part was trying to come up with a dessert to make. I didn't want to make cookies, I didn't want to bake a cake or make brownies because those are all things I've already done before, and not only that, but it was Valentine's Day, so I wanted to do something a little special. So I was talking to my grandma, and she said, why don't I make her pretzel jello dessert? So I did. And most people would think that making desserts is only something that women do, but surprisingly, in an online article for WebMD by Elaine McGee, she stated that most women love the idea of guys being in the kitchen too. And I also like this dessert also because it's not a common dessert, and Charles Bryant for TLC Online stated that the most common desserts in America are apple pie, cheesecake, and cupcakes, and this is not on the list, so it's definitely unique. And also, there are a lot of ingredients, but they're not expensive, and I know that's important too because for online by Christy Demshaw, she stated that it's very rare to find a college student that's flush with cash. So in this speech today, I'm going to demonstrate how to make my grandma's strawberry pretzel dessert. And first, I'm going to show you how to make the crust with pretzels. Second, I'm going to demonstrate how to make the Cool Whip cream cheese center. And third, I'm going to show you how to make the strawberry jello topping. So for the first step, you're going to need pretzels. And my grandma uses the small, thin ones because they're easier to crush up. So you're going to take it, and usually we use a rolling pin or like a meat tenderizer because it's quicker and easier, but it's really loud, so today I'm just going to demonstrate by using a little spoon. So you're just going to crush the pretzels up, and if you don't want to go to the gym today, that's okay, because by the time you're done, your arms are going to be a little sore. So you're just going to crush it up, and you don't want it to be like a powdery texture, you want it to have like some chunks in it, but you don't want whole pretzel pieces. So you're just going to crush it up. And by the time you're done, it's going to look like this. And the trick is you need 2 cups, but you don't want to measure it until they're crushed because you need 2 cups of the crushed pretzels, not the whole pretzels. So you're going to measure it out, and then you're going to have 2 cups, and you're going to pour it in the pan. I'm using a bowl because it's easier. So you're going to pour it all out, and you're just going to press it in the bottom. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just going to look like that. And then you're going to take some sugar, and this is a lot smaller than what the recipe calls for. It makes a big tin. So you're going to take some sugar, and you're going to add 2 teaspoons to the top, or 2 tablespoons to the top of it. And you're just going to take it. It doesn't matter if there's too much in one spot or not enough in another spot because you're just going to mix it all up anyways. So you take the sugar, and then you're also going to take some butter, and you're going to use 3/4 of a cup of melted butter. And I have melted butter, but it started to get solid again. So I'm just going to use some water just to demonstrate what the texture should look like. And you're going to use just a little bit, just so it's moist enough, but you don't want it to start getting soggy. So you're going to take it, and you want to make sure that all of it's moist enough because if you don't get the corners well, when you press it down to make the crust, it won't, when you bake it, it's not going to stick well. So you just make sure you get the corners, and then you start, once you think it's moist enough and there's no powder, you're just going to start pressing it down. And you want to get the corners, like I said, because when you put the next layer on, it'll start going down and it just won't look as pretty. So you're just going to press it down until it's firm enough. And it should look something like that. And then you're going to preheat your oven to 350, and you're going to put this in there for 15 minutes. And once that's done, you're going to take it and you're going to set it on a cooling rack, and you're going to set it aside. And while that's cooling, we're going to start making the whipped cream cheese center. So you're going to take a large container of the Cool Whip, not like a Costco size large, but the largest one you can find at like Vons or Stater Brothers. And you're just going to take that, and you're going to put it in the bowl. And you're also going to add sugar. And my grandma added a whole cup of sugar to this because there's going to be a lot more of the whipped cream. So you go ahead and add. I'm just going to add a little bit. And then you're going to start mixing that together until it's like blended. And you don't want to see any like loose sugar on the sides. The only hard part about this stuff is trying not to eat it because it is really good. And once you think it's blended enough, you're going to take cream cheese. You're going to use 8 ounces of the cream cheese. And you want to make sure it's softened because if you use it right out of the fridge, it's going to be really hard to like mix it all together and everything. So you're going to take the cream cheese. And you're just going to add it in. And at home, it's easier if you use an electric mixer to blend it all together. But I'm just going to use my arms. And the cream cheese was already set out, so it's a lot easier to mix. And the texture you want is you don't want it to be too thin, but you don't want it to be like thick in certain places because of the cream cheese and not thick enough in other places. So it only takes about a few minutes to mix it all up. And once you think the texture is good, you're going to take it and it'll look something like that. It'll probably be a little bit more blended better because of the electric mixer. But you're going to take that, and then once your pretzels are cooled, you want to make sure they're completely cooled so it doesn't melt the Cool Whip. You're going to take it, and you're just going to put it right on top. And the hard part about this is you don't want the pretzels on the bottom to lift, because, like right there, because if they lift, it'll just get into the second layer, and it's not that big of a deal, but it just won't look as nice. And you, again, want to make sure you get the corners really well. And you just spread it out. And you're going to cover the whole entire thing, but I only have a little bit. So it'll look something like that, but it'll cover the whole first layer. And you're going to put this in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours so it chills completely. And then once that's completely chilled, you're going to take the third layer, which is the strawberry jello. And you're going to buy 2 small packs of just regular strawberry jello. You don't want the sugar-free kind, you just want the regular one. And you're going to boil 2 cups of hot water. And you're also going to need a cup of cold water too. So once your hot water is boiled, you're going to pour the jello in the bowl. And then you're going to mix the hot water. This is cold water, but. And then you're also going to mix the cold water in as well. And you want to stir it. And you just want to stir it until there's no jello sugar on the bottom. Just make sure it's all blended. And then you're also going to mix in a container of the strawberries that are already sliced, and it's in like sugar and other juices. And I asked my grandma if fresh strawberries are better, but surprisingly she said no, because these have like the strawberry juice and other things in it, which helps the jello set better. So it's a lot thicker. So you're just going to take this. And you want to add 8 ounces, so it's about a container and 3/4 of another container. And you're just going to go ahead and mix it in. And you just blend it. And you just wait. And then you want to wait until it's cooled down because you added boiling water to it. So you want to wait till it's cool because if you put it on top of the whipped cream, it'll start melting it and it'll run down the sides onto the pretzel layer. So you're going to just go ahead and wait, and once it's cooled down, you just go ahead and take it and pour it right on top of the cream cheese frosting. And then, since it's jello, you just go ahead and put it back in the fridge. You're going to let it set overnight, and then in the morning, you're going to take it out, and it's going to look something like this. It has the 3 layers and it has the strawberry jello on top. And you're good to go. So in this speech, I first showed you how to make the pretzel crust. Second, I showed you how to make the cream cheese Cool Whip frosting center. And then third, I showed you how to make the strawberry jello top. And so this way, if it's Valentine's Day or you have a special date, you can be unique and stand out with a special dessert that isn't your typical brownies or cookies. Or if you're going to go to a party and you don't want to spend a lot of money on taking a dessert, you have an interesting dessert to take. Thank you.